Emotional support animals have become increasingly popular in recent years and don't just come in the form of dogs or cats. Whether it's a dog, a peacock or a squirrel, emotional support animals are a great tool for people suffering from emotional or psychological disorders. Qualifying ailments include, but are not limited to, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, panic attacks and fear or phobias. Those who wish to have emotional support animals must be prescribed one by a licensed mental health professional. After receiving the prescription, any animal that meets the guidelines for legal emotional support animals can be registered as such. Exotic animals are not excluded from holding such a title, but those seeking to register such a pet should be sure that they are legally allowed to have such an animal in their home. Want to know more about emotional support animals? We've got you covered. What is an emotional support animal? An emotional support animal is an animal that provides comfort or a sense of relief to a person with an emotional or psychological condition. They are not trained to perform specific tasks or provide their owners with any service other than soothing their symptoms. As such, they're not considered service dogs. What animals can be emotional support animals? Any animal can be an emotional support animal provided you are legally allowed to keep the animal in your home. This means exotic animals can qualify. HOW to register your dog as an emotional support animal? You can register your dog, or any other legally owned animal, as an emotional support animal at U.S. Service Animals or ESA registration. The cost of doing so varies depending on the site you go through. How to get an emotional support animal? To get an emotional support animal, one must be assessed by a mental health professional first. Once prescribed, you can register your pet provided it meets the guidelines for a legal service animal. Can a landlord refuse an emotional support animal? Emotional support animals, like service animals, are permitted to live in residences that don't typically allow pets. Some landlords may require proof in the form of a doctor's letter or registration. Under federal fair housing laws, renters should not be turned away for owning an emotional support animal. However, flying with an emotional support animal, traveling with emotional support animals, can be tricky because each airline has their own policies on which pets are permitted in the aircraft cabin. A woman recently made headlines after she was removed from a Frontier Airlines flight for traveling with her emotional support squirrel, for example. Frontier's website states that they accept service animals trained to assist passengers with disabilities in the cabin of our aircraft at no charge. It also says they reserve the right to refuse to accommodate any service animal or emotional support animal without proper documentation or one seen as aggressive or disruptive. A deeper look at their policy regarding emotional support and service animals states that the animal must be either a dog or a cat. Additionally, 48-hour notice is required, and each animal must be in a carrier that can be stowed or on a leash at all times. United began requiring additional documentation for all customers traveling with emotional support and service animals. Travelers will need a letter from a licensed medical mental health professional and a veterinary health form documenting the health and vaccination records for the animal, as well as confirming that the animal has been trained to behave properly in a public setting. Southwest Airlines allows small vaccinated domestic cats and dogs in an appropriate pet carrier in the aircraft cabin. While they don't typically allow animals in the cabin on international flights, they make exceptions to this rule for emotional support and service animals. In other news, What is an emotional support animal, and what kind of animals are qualified? Avengers 4, more rumors supporting Infinity War sequel. Time jump theory. What is Michael Bloomberg's net worth? Former Nick Mayor's wealth revealed ahead of potential presidential run post-Brexit. Britain. Why UK could be forced to accept rat hair and maggots in their food after US trade deal. World Mental Health Day. What is it? When is it? And what is 2018's theme? World Mental Health Day. What is it? When is it? And what is 2018's theme? EuroMillions results. Winning lottery numbers for Tuesday, October 9. Overwatch Halloween 2018. What time does it start? And what are the new skins? What is Richard Branson's net worth? Virgin Galactic billionaire's wealth revealed. Hurricane Michael, tracker, path, evacuation zones and more. How to check if you have a Google Plus account and how to delete it. American Music Awards 2018. All you need to know. Ada Lovelace Day 2018. When is it, and who is Ada Lovelace? Made by Google Pixel 3. How to watch the event and what to expect. World Post Day 2018 theme, date and more. New Kids on the Block Mixed Up Tour 2019. Dates, tickets, support acts and more. John Terry's net worth revealed after he retires from football. 2018 midterms. When are the voter registration deadlines in all the 50 states? The Walking Dead Season 9 spoilers. What time does it start in the UK? And what happens in the premiere? How to tell if your Facebook account has been hacked.